Hello, my loves. How are you? Today, I'm going to dive into some messages for the masculine and feminine collectives. There's been quite a bit happening, so I've just been asking for whatever is going to be the most beneficial for you. I want to check in with where things are landing. One of the streams that's coming up right out of the gate is this pocket of energy that feels in confusion around what to speak about and what not to speak about. There's multiple layers to it. It feels like where we may have been taught to stay silent, and that is starting to thaw out. I know many of you have worked on it already, but it feels like, especially for the masculines in the masculine collective, where they were taught sort of like the strong silent type, or you don't share that information, you keep it close to yourself. And there's this sort of pocket opening up where I can feel it as I'm talking to you. My hands are really warm and I'm sensing sort of like the frozen, dissociated energy. And so if any of you guys have been picking up on this, feeling it or witnessing it, let me know in the comments. And what we're being called to do is, obviously, if it's coming up in your system, holding a safe, stable space for yourself to thaw out and process this. And I'm going to go ahead and ask and set that intention that you feel the support of this message and the stable, safe energy throughout this message. And it's becoming deeper that as we hold these energies for ourselves, and if we're picking up on the collective, just holding space for others to know that there is a safe space, that they're safe to embody, that they're safe to land back home into their cells, and that they don't necessarily have to speak about it, but they don't necessarily have to hold it all in. And what's coming to me is sort of that energy and essence of thawing out the truth for ourselves, okay, as individuals, and being willing to anchor into the safe and stable energy. This makes sense even more and more because on Sunday I was guided to put together a group that I'm going to be doing on the 28th and 29th. There's two different times and dates. So I'll have them for different time zones. I put all that information over in the community tab a few days ago. For any of you interested, you can go check that out. But it's a group called Safe. And it's going to be about deepening into the root chakra, but also like really throughout the system of deepening our own embodiment in feeling safe and stable within our own energies. And this I've found for myself, and why I'm sharing it is because I've found, especially as someone who's recovering from CPTSD, this was something that I learned that was very important, to hold that space for myself to feel safe and stable without running or walling or freezing, and sort of learning to drop into facing whatever fears or discomforts were coming up. Okay. And the deeper I've done this for myself, obviously, the deeper I've been able to hold space with others. And so, in my group, I want to support you guys with that for yourselves, to go deeper with yourselves, but also like working with and sharing the energies, so that you're able to hold a deeper, safer space for those that you love as well, if you feel called to do that. And it really boils down to, again, as I said, like bringing it back to the self. It's not about running out and supposedly like rescuing or doing the work for anyone. But the beauty of it is as we are stable and safe, what that does is it creates an anchor point of stability for safety. And then it allows the collective to be able to process in deeper ways, even if they're uncertain about this. So, yes, here on this channel, I work very closely with the masculine and feminine collectives and the divine counterpart twin flame energies for those that feel connected to the stream I work with. But this is something that many light workers are working on across the planet in their own ways, in their own pockets. So you might find that you resonate with different portions of this work. Okay. And here I'm guided to really home in on masculine and feminine collectives because it's just what I personally have been trained in, as well as sort of the overall ascension. I've worked on multiple streams, but I've been guided to specifically support the masculine and feminine collectives through this process. So I'm gonna actually pull out the cards now and just deepen into these messages and bring in support around this. Again, I would love to hear from you guys. I'll also put the group information in the pinned comment for you. If you have any questions around that, you can let me know. And yes, like I said, it's over in the community tab if you feel guided. All right, what do we got? What do we got? So, all right, the first song out is Whale Song Resonating. And what came to me immediately was this: as we align with our own frequency. And you guys, if you've been here with me for any amount of time, I often redirect you back to your own voice, your own breath, and your own sacred sound as a way to sort of align and recalibrate with your own true essences. And I was just speaking about not being able to speak, right? Speaking our truth, or where maybe especially some of the masculines were silenced. And what's coming to me is they were sort of silenced through shame, guilt, blame, projection. But as those of you here, and I'm sure even as feminines, you feel some of that in your system in your own way, the feminines were silenced as well, obviously, but in a different way. And the feminines have been really working through quite a bit of that. And I can already feel voice activation as I'm speaking this. So as you're working in your as energies and you're strengthening your essence, like I was saying, stabilizing into your truth, what this does is it creates that resonance that allows the soul family to feel the support. So any ways that you can strengthen your own internal voice, like I said, through the breath, through the sacred sound. And it doesn't have to even be that you're speaking specific words to people. It can be that you're getting honest and speaking truth to yourself internally, or that you're writing it, or that you get in your car, or you get into a safe place where no one's around and you speak your own voice in truth out loud, or hold space for it to come out. Because as I'm saying this, what I'm sensing is that there's some that their truth has been so suppressed for so long that we're sort of needing to hold a space for ourselves to open up into this safe bubble and allow our true frequency to open up. Okay. There's definitely more with this for those of you that are in a divine counterpart connection. And I've been talking about that shared safe space within the connection. As I'm deepening into this, I feel like I'm going to share a deeper post over on my Patreon on how you can deepen into these energies for yourself and working with it in your connection if you feel guided to that. This is an area where I'm sort of dancing because obviously everyone has their own sacred connection and their own guidance. I'm viewing this more as a space where I'm sharing some of the things I've experienced, some of the things I've seen, not as a be all end all, but more of as an inspiration. And I've also been guided to do it on the Patreon because some of the things that I go into are very in depth, and you definitely have to be ready for these types of messages and be ready to absorb them and enact them. So I always actually guide you to ask your higher self if it's in alignment for you to receive these messages at this time, if it's in alignment for your actual purpose, or if there's another trajectory for you, because there is no right or wrong way. It's more so about what resonates and what's going to support you in your highest trajectory and timeline. So there's no attachment about you needing to receive the information I'm sharing. It's much more about, does it actually feel resonant with you and for you? And that should be your number one indicator. Okay, loves. So I'll drop that into the pin comment and over in the community tab when I get that going. But it's going to be more, like I said, around working with your frequency to align for yourself, your inner union. And then if you're guided and it feels in the highest alignment and you're ready to share that into your connection. This is also something I believe that probably happens very naturally if people aren't aware. It just so happens that I'm trained to be very specifically aware of many of these things because, like I've told you, a big part of my purpose is to thaw out and open up the subconscious and become more conscious and embodied in all of who we are. So, but it's again your guidance. Your higher self is going to know what's appropriate for you, so please follow that. All right, so I'm going to go deeper into that over there, but as either way, like really homing in on it for yourself and follow your guidance from there. The second card that came out is Drifter, experience as life as it comes, and it's very fascinating because this bubble up here, you see, it's almost like what's coming to me is that there's this energy of where we might have felt we were drifting along. And what was actually happening is you see the guidance of the walls, like the pillars, like the path was drifting, but it was always being steered by the higher power. And this bubble here is really feeling to me like the resonance of this. And how this is coming to me is that this is the feminine collective really focusing in the higher energies and tuning into their internal resonance, working in those spiritual, energetic realms, bringing those frequencies into her physical body, anchoring those within her own physical body and to the planet. And it's setting out this frequency as a compass for the masculine collective. And oh my gosh, wow, this is so beautiful. Like where they might have felt that they were drifting, as this resonant frequency is aligning, it's naturally aligning the masculines with their natural resonant frequency. And the beautiful part is that the feminines do not need to know how or what or why this is happening or in what way that it's what outcome it's creating. It's more so about just focusing on your part and allowing the masculines their part and whatever they have to walk through. But this energy is very much coming through about how, as we align and drop into our inner union, focusing on ourselves, it allows the masculines to become focused on themselves and what they're needing to do. They may or may not be aware that the feminine's aligned focus is what is supporting him to align. It's coming through very much as like a compass. And this alignment is that higher divine alignment, loves. It's like the 1111, right? That higher alignment, that our support from the higher power into the earth, anchoring it, allowing ourselves to be within the pillar, right? In the sacred masculine, in the sacred feminine. And at the same time, as we strengthen into that, those frequencies are really like going out to the collective as a beacon. And it's so beautiful because what's coming through is like the feminines are doing this embodied, and it's coming through to the masculines as this higher energy. And it's allowing them to align with their higher energy, which ultimately is allowing them to align with the feminine. And as the feminine is anchoring into the earth, it allows her to align with the masculine. Okay. So, like I said, I'm going to go deeper into this. I'm actually going to leave these cards aside so that I can go deeper, almost like a part two in the Patreon group with that. I do want to leave you guys with a deeper final card here, like an overall message from the Priestess of Light Energy. Again, I would love to hear from you. The energies have been quite intense, and Yeah, at the same time, beautiful. It feels like we're making a lot of progress. And this, to me, what I've been being shown feels very, very much like we're truly anchoring much deeper into the new energies, much more solid, much more embodied, which is why we're able to send these frequencies out. And the most beautiful part, like I've said, is that as we're doing it for ourselves with the intention of the higher alignment, it's happening very naturally and effortlessly. This is not something that you have to like home in on with your masculine and get in his face, or it's really actually just being in your space and holding the bigger space for the overall collective. And it supports your masculine, but also the masculine collective and the planetary collective loves. That's what's coming through. So let's get a card for those of you that are here with me. Oh, okay. Am I taking these? Okay, no. There was too many. But I feel like it's sort of like representative of how much is shifting. All right, what do we got? Idyllic times, the Garden of Paradise. So, my loves, as you continue to anchor into your true frequency and your true alignment, sacred feminines, you are holding the keys and the stability to anchoring in the sacred garden, to anchoring in the new earth, to support the birthing of the new earth. And I did receive a request to talk about the feminines in going through like those spirit births or those energetic pregnancies. And so if there's more of you that would like to hear about that, let me know. I'm sure many of you have probably experienced some forms of that. And it's something that I believe is kicking up, especially as we are truly learning to embody our full conscious creatorship. Okay. Yes, feminines are used as a vehicle and a vessel to birth humans onto the planet, but the sacred feminines are very much also who are birthing the new earth, who are birthing the energies and her vision in support for the collective. The sacred feminines hold the space to birth those energies for the collective. Okay, loves. So it's why it's so incredibly important that we ask to get into our highest alignment so that we can be a clear vessel and portal to bring through those conscious creations where in the past we did not realize our powers and we were birthing all sorts of creations into our existence and reality, not realizing that it was our own consciousness or subconsciousness that was creating these. Okay, yes, oh yeah, I feel like this is definitely going to be a deeper topic and we'll see how that unfolds. But this sacred feminine's being called to clear your sacred vessel. I know many of you have been doing it and purifying and really home in on anchoring in the seeds that you want to plant or that you're tending to in your sacred garden, in your new earth template. Okay, loves, because this acts as that deeper resonance for the planet, for the collective. Okay, it's what I'm sensing and feeling is sort of the feminines getting into this very deep, larger protective bubble from the spiritual realms as she's learned how to be in her truth and protect herself just through being her authentic self. And it's allowing her to anchor and ground and really tend to that new earth garden. Okay, loves. And this is exceedingly powerful. And it's bringing me back to a few weeks ago when I talked about the sacred divine feminines being in surrender and truly holding space for her own abilities and her conscious creatorship and the true power that the feminines hold, and actually opening up to embodying and learning how to wield the gorgeous energy that you hold inside of you. I keep looking at the clock and it's 10:11, and for some reason that feels important for somebody, but it also feels like that 10:11, like we're moving into those realms, and it's re-signifying that divine alignment. For me, the 11:11 has become sort of that divine alignment energies for the masculine and feminine, like the internal energies, but then also the collectives working together. Definitely a very deep recalibration the feminines are definitely dropping into holding a much deeper and safe and stable place for herself, as well as for the overall collective. I know that there are masculines here doing their own levels of work as they work on their internal union, because I've been talking to you and I see your comments, and we appreciate your presence here as we hold those realms and levels for one another working together. All right, loves, I'm going to leave it here. Again, I'll see you over on Patreon, and I will post that both in the description box, the pin comment, and over in the community tab. And again, I'll also post the group if those of you feel called to join that. All right. Love you so much. I hope that this was helpful. I hope that you're doing well, caring for yourself, stabilizing in these beautiful yet intense times. I've also heard, yes, that we're going to be getting many more solar flares. So we'll be bringing in some support for that as well. All right, loves, have a beautiful rest of your day, and we'll talk very soon.